I wanted to just make a very brief and quick video to answer your question. So the first one here we have from the basal ganglion material is explaining how the basal ganglion and cerebellum affect voluntary motor behavior. And so we didn't really focus on the cerebellum, and the major thing out of so what you have to worry about then, and what this was relating to, is talking about the first slide that we had here, where we talked about how the basal ganglia basically has an inhibitory influence on the cerebral cortex, so of the motor. So it's kind of a braking action that we described, and that kind of info and that kind of you know that type of, of influence that we see there is it was covered in that diagram that we had in the that we had in this. So let me see if I can quickly go to that. So this diagram, where here's our thalamus, and that links to the motor cortex, and it's kind of has some tonic activity, kind of constantly going. And then here's our output of the basal ganglia that inhibits that thalamus. So that's a major thing to get out of it. The cerebellum, don't worry about it. Okay. Your second question was about this, the location, and that question that came from one of the objectives about the links between these different cranial nerve nuclei. So it's this one right here. In truth, I think it's a bit redundant because we have to basically know them all for all of the different cranial nerves. And the idea is, do you know this kind of chart here? That relative to the midline, do you know where all of these different nuclei are, and at the different axial levels? So, for example, the Edinger-Westphal nucleus here, which has that visceral motor type of output here, and the somatic motor that we have right here closest to the midline. Can you identify and discriminate between those two, or the trochlear that we have here? So that's what that's what we're looking at in terms of the nuclei that are there. So I hope that helps, and good luck.